What's up, magical people? Welcome back to your most magical life. I'm Mia Magic, and today we are doing a Libra full moon download. This full moon comes on April 16th. It's going to be a big one. I mean, aren't they all? But the reason why Libra is so imperative and so important is because it is the sign of relationships. It's actually the only sign that is ruled by or represented by an inanimate object, because it's about everything. We're always relating to everything. Everything is always in relation to something else. So it's not just about human beings. It's about animals and plants and the world at large and the galaxy and the universe. So of course, I will be leading another full moon ritual on Friday, April 15th at 5 p.m. PST. Those of you who are on different time zones, don't worry, you will get the recording as soon as we are completed. And so if you are, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, that's a little late for you, then you're totally welcome to still join us, and you'll get the recording and can do it the following day or evening, whatever time is right for you. So this Libra full moon, really, like I was just saying, represented by the scales, about balance, about harmony. Libras want things to feel good. They want things to feel like they are balanced and fair. And so this energy is really about coming to completion with any of the ways that we may have been out of balance with ourselves, our relationships to ourselves, our relationships to others, our relationships to the natural world. Like I shared in my last video, I got back from Antarctica about 2.5 weeks ago, and it was so incredibly beautiful, so magnificent. We had these gorgeous sunny days, but there were record high temperatures, 27 degrees hotter than it's ever been in Antarctica in the history of our planet, right? Like, we can tell there's all kinds of like carbon dating in science that I don't understand, but that like allows us to know temperatures from like millions and billions of years ago. And it's never been as hot as it was during the week that we were there. And it was a big group of entrepreneurs and thought leaders and world changers, I certainly hope. And so one of the things that was really present for us there, and for me in understanding these, we were there over the equinox. We were there for the Virgo full moon as well. We've had the Aries new moon, and now this Libra full moon coming to completion. Full moons are about completion or illumination, right? The moon is full, so its full light is being shown upon us. So any of our shadows, any of our darkness, any of our old habits or behaviors or patterns that are ready to go, we are now seeing them with that full light of awareness, and we have the opportunity to come to completion with them. So what I'm really harnessing and holding from that trip is, how can we come to completion with the ways that we've been out of balance or disharmonious with the planet, with the natural world? Because we wouldn't be here without it. We wouldn't have food, we wouldn't have water, and we certainly wouldn't have air to breathe, right? Like, the trees and the oceans create all of the oxygen that we inhale, right? It's what they exhale. So there's a really beautiful opportunity for every single one of us to just look at, how are we in or out of balance in our relationships to ourselves first and foremost? Because the more in balance and in harmony we are with ourselves, the more aware we are of the planet. I've got a little kitty tickling my feet right now. You're very sweet. You're such a good boy. And so relationships, right? So the primary relationship is with oneself. And now the air signs are very much in their way about how we receive the reflections from the outside world or other people, and like see ourselves in it. Who am I in relationship to that? Who am I in relationship to being communicated with in this way? How do I respond or react? And so like, this has been a huge thing for my partner and I right now. It's really for me. It's not for him. He's doing great. But, I have this profound opportunity with this full moon, especially. Like, this has been a really big couple of weeks after we got back from Antarctica, which was actually a really hard trip for me, because it was so beautiful, but it was so heartbreaking. And we were down there in this like luxury experience, and there was a lot of moments for me where I felt like, wow, does anyone actually get how important it is for us to be focusing on like praying and gathering together and being intentional together? And so I didn't see like we never did a group prayer, like I asked, I'm like, let me lead a ceremony, let's do a prayer. And we never like gathered together and spoke about how we as a community in prayer are devoting ourselves to the world, to the planet, to this life. And so I had a lot of challenging moments with that, and then came back, and there's just been all of this energy. I did a 2-night ayahuasca ceremony 36 hours after we returned, just like a lot happening. And so for me, I've really witnessed the biggest thing about relationship, right, is that anything you perceive to be outside of you, anything you perceive like, oh, we didn't do a ceremony, oh, we didn't do a prayer, oh, we didn't do enough that was intentional. Okay, well, so how am I not being enough in prayer? How am I not being enough in ceremony? How am I not being intentional enough with my life? Those are the questions we get to ask ourselves, especially when it comes to relational signs, because if this whole thing is a hologram, if you're creating your reality, then you're creating your reality. And that means all of it. And so for me in particular, it's like, okay, all the things that I either have judgment towards or that I'm not feeling good about or that I'm in disharmony with, how can I then create harmony? And the only way for us to create harmony, if we can't control the external circumstance, if we can't, like determine what another person is going to do or how they're going to respond to us in any given moment, the only thing we can control is ourselves. We can control how we create harmony within ourselves, how we create balance within ourselves. We can utilize our relationship to self as the foundation upon which we build relationships with others, and as the standard that we hold for our relationships with others. It can be the role model, the model period of relationship. Do we speak kindly and lovingly? That's been a big one for me. I did not realize, like, I'm so good at like talking to you guys and being a teacher and being in my rituals when we're in, like, we'll be in ritual together on Friday night. And yeah, especially with the ayahuasca and Antarctica and just what's been up for my partner and I lately, I have just been really looking at all the ways that I've been unkind. And it starts with being unkind to myself. It starts with being judgmental of myself. This is not enough, or this is too much. Those are really my big stories. And so I've always been this like very big, large person and grew up in a really small town, and it was not acceptable to be the way that I was. It was like way too much. And then I just gradually started like shrinking and hiding and pretending to be someone else or something less. And then, in like the big city, I moved to New York when I was 17. Then it was like, oh my God, now I'm not enough. And so I have just played back and forth in my own mind. Like, that's been the relationship that I've had with myself, is either like something that I am is too much or something that I am is not enough. Something that I desire, something that I have, something that I look like, whatever it is, And so I've been in just a deep, profound inquiry with how I can bring balance into my life. In particular for me, like coming to completion, like in this full moon, this Libra energy with your relationship to yourself means coming to completion with the habits or behaviors or patterns that have been perpetuating the negative aspects or elements of your relationship. Full stop. To yourself, to your partner, to your friends, to your family, to the planet. And so for me, I was like so deep in my spiritual practice when I started my journey, a decade ago. I was meditating twice a day. I was doing yoga for like 90 minutes a day. I was like doing all the crystal healing and Reiki healing and like all the psychic readings and just like everything all day, every day. Like, give it to me, because I was unhappy, because I was unfulfilled, because I didn't have a purpose, because I just like didn't know who I was. And so I spent years and years in this deep devotion. And now I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. And if you know Paul Selig, like, I know what I'm doing here. I know what my purpose is. I'm writing these books. I, have this amazing deal with Hay House, like 2 books and 2 Oracle decks coming out for y'all. It's going to take a while. Those are long processes, but they're coming. And so there's so much that is happening in my life that I just couldn't have dreamed of. Like, I always knew I was meant to share messages with people, but I didn't understand that I was really here to share magic. I always believed in it. I always hoped. I always was like such a Harry Potter nerd, like I remember in high school, my 7th grade English teacher, like her kids, were my age, and she like walked by me one day and I was like reading Harry Potter, and I'm like in, 9th or 10th grade at this point. And she's like, Mia, this is my 7th grade teacher. She's like, haven't you read that book enough? Like, why don't you read another book? Right? There's plenty of other books to read. And I was just like, Miss Barrett, like, I just love this book. Like this is what resonates with me, you know? So I could never have imagined that I was going to be teaching people about magic and witchcraft and like having witch school, a school of witchcraft and wizardry myself. Like I never would have thought that was possible, but of course, like it's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So that's amazing. That's great. All those spiritual practices that I did all those years, they work and they worked. And I haven't done them as consistently as I used to do them for quite a while because things have gotten great. I have a great relationship. I live in a dream house. I have all these amazing friends. I make a lot of money, like blah, blah, blah. I have my dream car. I've like gotten all these things from my vision board, you know, like I've done all this amazing manifestation, like woohoo, like good for me, you know? But it doesn't mean anything if you can't feel the deep gratitude and appreciation for it. Experience viscerally the fulfillment of finding your purpose and living it and having an amazing community by your side who stands with you and lifts you up when you fall down. And so I really recognized, wow, my relationship with myself is out of balance. I am not giving back. Like, yeah, I say my gratitudes and stuff, but I am not giving back to that universal life force energy with those silent moments, with the elongation and expansion of my physical body in my yoga practice, my meditation practice. They're called practices for a reason. My spiritual practice, my breathwork practice, my ritual practices. And so that is a big piece of, that's really what's alive for me right now. But what I want to just let you all know and be aware of is that your relationship to yourself is the foundation for every relationship that you have. So where I have been out of balance in my relationship with my partner is because there is an imbalance within me. Now, of course, if you're with like an abusive person or like it's a really toxic relationship, that is not always 100% the case. But if that is the case, then there is something inside of you that's keeping you there, that's telling you that you should stay there. And that's what you get to work on. That's the opportunity for you to heal or be looking at. From my perspective, the big thing for me that I really just want to be very clear with everyone about is, and this is like, I'm going to start making a lot more videos where I'm like talking to you guys personally and like on my rants about what's going on in my life. I guess now this full moon video has kind of turned more into that, which I did not mean for it to do. But, you know, I know that some of the styles of the old videos that I used to make are really great. And one of them is like my most viral video. So, you know, I want to be sharing more of my life with you guys. But in terms of this full moon, and I know that whenever I share the personal things that it always resonates. So it's okay. But it doesn't have to be about your spiritual practice. Maybe you're like crushing it and you've been meditating twice a day and doing 90 minutes of yoga and doing your breath work and like, you know, I've been doing a cold plunge every day, like whatever it is that makes you feel like the best version of yourself. Maybe you've been doing that. So then you get to look at what else is it? What part of your relationship then are you maybe like not, you know, getting to work, getting motivated, doing the things that you need to be doing in order to build your business? What relationship doesn't have to be suffering. Let's not use the word suffering, but what relationship in your life could use more of your attention and intention? What relationship in your life could use your tender, loving care, your time? You know, our time is actually our most valuable resource. Like for me, like I wanted to like be supportive of my partner. He was coming home and I like spent the whole day cleaning the house. And usually I pay someone to do that. Like I always have my maid come, like, I'm like, I don't clean. I get someone else to do that, you know? And I really saw the value of that time. Like I spent so long just like tidying up and like doing all the little things and like reorganizing the cabinets and like all this stuff. I want to spend my time doing my spiritual practice, hanging out with my cats or my friends or out in nature, you know? So we really get to look at where is our time out of balance? Because time is how we relate to our life. Time is what we spend in order to be in relationship to our life. So where are you spending more time and less time in terms of your relationships with your family, with your friends, with nature, with your partner, and with yourself? Because I promise you, if you spend really deep, intentional, powerful, impactful time with yourself every day, every single one of your relationships will be positively impacted. Every single one. They will all be informed by the quality of that time that you spend with yourself. And so, of course, people always think that, Libra is about love and partnership. And like, yes, of course it is. And this applies to all of us, no matter what. Like, yes, I am choosing in my partnership to show up in a different way. Like what we're doing with this Libra full moon of like, course, it's coming right like this is like dying. Let this old version of the relationship die. And for me, it's let the version of me that is not showing up fully for myself so that I can then show up fully for my relationship. Let that relationship die. The version of me that's like, oh, because you don't want to do yoga with me, I'm not going to do yoga. No, he doesn't want to do yoga. That's okay. He can like stretch for a few minutes in the morning and then like he wants to go lift weights. Bless him. Great. Like the best thing for my body, the best thing for my strength, for my toning, for my ass, for my legs, for my abs, everything is yoga. So let me do that. But let me take self-responsibility. Again, that's a big part of relationship. Let me take self-responsibility for my practice, for my devotion and commitment to my yoga practice, so that then what that yoga gives me, which is flexibility and patience and stamina and strength, openness, expansion, tranquility, energy, let me bring all those things into my relationship. So that the old version of our relationship where I was like maybe not on my practice as much, which is like, it'd be sporadic. It's like, oh, I meditate this day and I yoga this day. Like, no, it needs to be both, all, and every single day for me in order to be the version of myself I desire to be, in order to respond to my life instead of react to anything that happens. That's for me. That's when I'm my best, is when I'm on my yoga and my 2-a-day meditations and my time in nature and the cold plunge. Like yesterday I put up a story like, I don't want to go in the cold plunge. I did not want to get in. I had so much resistance. I was just looking at the water like, like, I don't want to get in there. That's literally how I felt inside. But I took a deep breath and I got in anyway. And that choice is what makes me the version of myself that I want to be. The one who moves towards growth, the one who moves towards expansion, towards transformation, towards evolution, towards actualization, elevation, activation. That's the version of myself I want to be. And so when I sat down to make this video, I thought this was going to be a very different video and I was going to talk about all relationships and all the things, but this is what's alive for me right now. And y'all know I'm not an astrologer, so I don't know about the like sextants and like what's hitting this in this direction and over here and all the things. Like, I don't know about that, but I know about the archetype. I know about what it means to be in relationship to yourself and to life and to other people. And so this is the primary foundation that I'm inviting all of us, whether you are in partnership or not. This is the most important relationship right here, you and you. If you are having challenges in your relationship or in your friendships or with your family, look at what part of you is reflecting that same challenge internally. Where is that difficulty or that dissonance, that disharmony, where is that present in you? And how can you remedy that within yourself to then let the ripple of that effect, that transformation, that impact travel out towards your family, your friends, your community, your students, your viewers, your lovers? Because there is nothing more powerful and more potent and more sustainable, which means lasting, like what will make it last. There's nothing more sustainable than working right here on this. Again, if you want to come to my full moon ritual on the 15th, on Friday at 5 p.m. PST, please, I would love to have you join me. But even if you aren't going to do a ritual, you don't necessarily need to do a ritual. This one is about how you're showing up. So what I'm coming to completion with is the days that I can just like get up or like get on my phone or like make excuses and do anything else except my practice to start my day. That is my intention. That is where my attention will go. And where our attention goes, our energy flows. So my energy will go towards being the version of myself I desire to be, so that then I can trust myself. I can count on myself. I feel fulfilled within myself. I feel grateful for myself. How often do we feel that? Like not that often. I'm grateful for me. I'm grateful for you. I love you. Oh my goddess, I can trust you. I can rely on you. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. I know I can count on you. I feel cared for by you. Wow. It's like, that's rare. So let that be the gift. Let anything other than that be what we come to completion with for this full moon. Anything other than that. Let it not just be about how we show up with another person, but how are we showing up for ourselves so that we can show up for any person in our life. That's what this full moon is really inviting us all to do. So again, if you would like to join me for the full moon ritual on the 15th at 5 p.m. PST, I would absolutely love to have you. It's going to be a juicy one, obviously. There's something lit up in here, right? So we're going to be coming to completion with any of the old habits and behaviors, any of the old ways that we have not been able to show up for ourselves, and then allowed that to sort of like drip into or sort of toxify our relationships with others. And I'm always so excited to be leading you all through ritual. It was so amazing and beautiful last time. So if you'd like to join us, the link will be below. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, I'm going to be doing lots more videos about just like talking about my life, because it appears that, that's something that I haven't done much. And I don't do it really on Instagram because I just make reels, and, I'm not doing it here because I'm just making the videos that I want to like make sure are supporting you guys. But I know that, sharing what's really happening in a real magical life, like here I am, this is what I'm doing. That's why I welcome each and every one of you to your most magical life all the time, because this is me living mine. And so I really want to just be able to keep inspiring you all and sharing with you how I'm doing the things that I'm doing that are allowing my life to become more and more magical. So thank you all again so much for watching, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm so grateful to have each and every one of you here. It is such a powerful, potent, and profound blessing to be doing what I do. If you are interested in learning more and want to join Witch School, I would love to have you there. It's always open for enrollment. So my little Hogwarts school is always there for you. And I'm sending you all so much love and always, always welcoming you to your most magical life.